Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Technology Tuesday, hosted by Out of the Box Technology. We're so excited to bring you these free webinars that feature third-party apps, tips and tricks from in and outside of QuickBooks, and hot topics that our industry is encountering. As you can see, we've changed up the look of Technology Tuesdays just a little bit, give it a little facelift here, bringing in some of our new branding. So love to hear your feedback on that. My name is Jennifer, and I'll be your moderator today. I'm the marketing manager here at Out of the Box Technology. And as we go through the presentation today from Gusto, if you have any questions, please go ahead and send those over to me via the question function on your GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. A little bit about Out of the Box Technology. We are a team of QuickBooks consultants that do training, integration, hosting, and support surrounding all versions of QuickBooks, including the brand new 2020 that just launched this month. We also do bookkeeping services, including recurring bookkeeping, and we have a whole development team that does website design, custom app development, data migrations, and more. But enough about us here at Out of the Box Technology. Today we are excited to welcome Gusto. Gusto was with us last month. In August, we had our in-house expert, Jacqueline Daly. She kind of went over a little bit about what Gusto does, what they're about. But today we have Pat on the line with us, and he's going to really dive into what Gusto has to offer. So before we do that, just a little bit of housekeeping. Starting also this month in September, Out of the Box Technology has been approved to offer CPE credit for attending our virtual events as long as you attend them live. So a couple learning objectives for today's presentation. And if you stick with us throughout the whole presentation, answer a couple of poll questions that we have, I'll send over a certificate of completion for you that will go towards your CPE credit. So just some information on that. If you have any questions about that, please go ahead and send those over to me. I'm happy to answer questions you might have about CPE. So with that, I'm going to make Pat the presenter here and go ahead and let him take things over. And so Pat, I'm going to do that real quick, and you can kick it off for us.
All right, Jennifer, thank you so much. And just want to make sure, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, yep, we see the Gusto logo there, yep.
Beautiful. Just want to make sure. Well, hey, I appreciate everybody taking the time today to learn a bit more about Gusto. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and any feedback and questions you have, but just a little background on what it is that I do over here at Gusto. Is I work with franchises, small businesses, bookkeepers. So a lot of folks who hopefully are here today that might be interacting with payroll in some way, shape, or form. So that could be managing payroll. That could be that they're being paid by payroll. Oftentimes, folks that come to Gusto come to us for a handful of reasons. These can range from frustrations regarding tax filings, simple compliance. This can be, am I offering great benefits? I want to, have a great team, attract and retain amazing talent, and what can I do? So these are the things that I do over here at Gusto. If it's HR, I've never hired, I've never fired. I need to write an employee handbook and I don't know where to start. That's what my specialty is at Gusto, is helping small businesses, franchises, bookkeepers ensure that their clients or their businesses are compliant, they're getting the best money, the best bang for their buck, and that they're also utilizing our services or anything that we integrate with to the fullest extent. So that's a little bit about what I do specifically at Gusto, is really interact with all those different types of folks. Not sure how familiar everyone is with Gusto, but I will kick this off by a quick overview of what it is that we do and who we are. So company obviously is named Gusto. So started about 7 years ago in San Francisco, 7 or 8 years ago. Originally, the company was actually called Zen Payroll. At that time, we only offered payroll. Since then, our offering has evolved and it expands well beyond payroll. So the rebrand reflects that we don't just offer payroll. Been around, like I said, about 8 years. This is our mission statement right here. We're creating a world where work empowers a better life. So to dig in a bit deeper here, payroll, benefits, HR, they're oftentimes tasks in business processes that folks don't love doing. There's not a lot of joy in it. It is something that has to be done, but they don't have the technology or the resources to do it well. And so it kind of becomes a drag. Gusto is trying to take that narrative and really change it and turn it on its head and say that, hey, payroll, benefits, HR, they don't have to be a drag. They don't have to be that have to do things. Maybe we can make this something that you enjoy offering, that your employees actually love. And so we're really trying to say, hey, let's take your employees, let's empower them, let's give them benefits, let's give them different financial tools to help better their lives, and in turn, create a better workplace. So really trying to, like I said, change the narrative around how payroll, benefits, and HR have traditionally been viewed. Just a quick overview of some of the numbers. We do work when it says 4.5K partners. That's folks like Out of the Box Technology, who we partner with to help bring services to their clients. Within the whole company, over 100,000 small businesses in all 50 states. So many of you may be familiar with some of the legacy providers like your Paychex, your ADP, your Intuit that have been around for a long time, while Gusto has not been around for quite as long as some of them, like ADP, who came around just after World War II. We've been around not quite as long, but we still do have quite a significant presence in the small business market, process over $4 billion of payroll annually, and people really love us. So 5-star reviews, all this objective customer service scoring, we really do well on. Gusto is pretty different. Like I said, we're trying to change the narrative around payroll, benefits, and HR. This doesn't just happen with technology, but one of the biggest pieces is actually ease of use and customer service. Gusto, our mission statement, create a world where work empowers a better life. We don't only reflect this in our product and how we interact with our customers, but it's also how the company treats the employees here at Gusto. And so happy employees, fulfilled work life, has led to this incredible customer service score that you're seeing right here. So our NPS score, which is a net promoter score, I'm sure many of you are familiar with, but for anybody that's not, it's on a scale of 1 to 10. How likely are you to recommend this to a friend? 10 is, yep, I would love to recommend that. 0 is probably not so much. And this is how customer service is objectively scaled and measured with a lot of software companies. As you can see, Gusto ranks very high here. This is just a testament to what we're putting into our product and our people. You can see some of the other folks that are in our industry that we compete against. It does tell a very telling picture of how working with Gusto, you're actually going to have a much different experience, not only, like I said, from the product side, but from the customer experience side. And that typically is pretty different from what folks are used to. Just a bit more diving in here on the NPS score. It's not only in how we treat our customers and how we interact, but also our platform is very easy to use. 85% of customers say that we are easier to use than their previous payroll provider, meaning not only will you be treated well and have an incredible service with our customer service team, but you're going to have an easy time using our platform in the first place. So what does Gusto actually do? Everything starts with full service payroll. So going back to Zen payroll days, we are a full service payroll provider. So nothing totally mind blowing here, but what that means is for anybody using Gusto services, we are going to file and pay all federal, state, and local payroll taxes, including your quarterly filings and your end of year forms. So this is a huge, huge piece that if you're using a full service payroll provider, gets taken off of your plate, off of your accountant's plate, where we actually do all the payments, tax filings, quarterly reports, unburden you from that. Gusto works across a ton of different industries. So this is just calling out a couple different industries and features that we have that really set Gusto apart. I'll just quickly run through a few of them. For example, the very top, R&D tax credit. This is something that new companies that are engaging in R&D can save a tremendous amount of money on. You can claim this directly through Gusto. For your restaurants, minimum wage adjustments. If you are paying workers, maybe your servers, your bartenders, and it does not meet the minimum wage, we'll actually do that true up and the adjustment to ensure that you are staying compliant. Garnishments, we'll withhold and pay child support to the pay agencies. Multiple pay rates. It really is intended to be a flexible product that can accommodate different industries, different types of workers, in all different types of situations. I alluded to this a little bit at the beginning, that there really is much more to what we do than just payroll. So we actually refer to our software as the Gusto People Platform. We think and we believe that having a great team and a great business really means more than just a paycheck. So what does this functionally mean? Benefits. Health insurance, one of the touchiest issues in America today. We obviously stay out of the politics of it, but we do our best to provide health insurance to anyone out there that can. So we do offer health insurance benefits for companies on the small group health insurance market. One of the unique things that we offer is this less than 4 employees that you see at the top. So oftentimes carriers, payroll providers, brokers kind of draw this line at 4 employees and say anything below that we can't write a plan for. Gusto thinks and believes that benefits should be available, and health insurance in particular should be available to anybody, which is the reason why we offer benefits, not only to larger companies, but to companies with 1 employee, 2 employees, 3 employees. It's a very straightforward benefits process. What makes Gusto Benefits different? We are a broker, but we are very different than your traditional broker. A traditional broker, a traditional health insurance policy includes a lot of time-consuming paperwork, back and forth with the carrier. Gusto said, hey, that's not the best way to do this. It's not the most efficient way. And it's also not a great experience for employees. Employees want access to information. They don't want to go back and forth and read through different documents and plans and talk to the broker. We want to give them that information right up front. And so Gusto offers these benefits in a very streamlined process that I'll show you in the demo. Everything's in one place. It's an absolutely free offering, and we really empower the employees. So employees have access to their benefits. This is very different and very unique, really sets us apart from a standard health insurance offering. How Gusto benefits work, pretty straightforward, but these are some of the benefits that come with doing benefits with Gusto. So some of the reasons that we are different: automatic enrollment, online enrollment, so employees actually do their enrollment through gusto.com rather than on paper. We do have licensed benefits advisors. So just like our customer service team, we also have a customer service team for benefits. This includes an advisor that can talk to employees, to small businesses, walk them through, hey, what does an HMO mean versus a PPO? Why is my out-of-pocket max this much, and what does that mean? I have to go get an x-ray, how much will that cost me, etc. So we really are there to help folks through that process of not only getting benefits, but really understanding them and making sure everyone is on board and fully informed. Other benefits managed by Gusto: commuter, HSA, FSA, 401k, 529 college savings, and life and disability. So oftentimes, if you look at a screen like this, you might say, I go to someone for my payroll, to this broker for my 401k, to this individual for my health insurance, and over here for my commuter benefits. But Gusto took a look at that and said, what if we can offer that under one roof, which is why we manage all of those and offer them. Here, we're going to get into a bit of what we offer from a compliance and HR tool standpoint. So taking things further beyond payroll, we have gone over benefits a little bit, but also HR, team management. These are big pieces, not only to make sure you're compliant, but also to ensure that employees know what's upcoming. They know how much time off they have. They know where to access important employment documents, that instead of showing up on day one and signing on paper and then maybe sticking them in a drawer, they can have access to it anytime. So this includes things like employee offer letters. For example, rather than sending an offer letter over email or having an employee sign an offer letter on paper, you can handle this entire process electronically. Time tracking, very simple time tracking. You want employees to clock in and clock out in Gusto, we can offer that. Time off requests. I'm an employee. I don't know how much PTO I have. It's saved on a spreadsheet in my HR manager's office, and to request time off, I have to fill out a piece of paper and email it to her. All these processes that are a little outdated, we've all done them. I've done them. Gusto said, let's just do them better. So everything that you see here to help you manage your team, to help you streamline different processes, we offer right through our platform. Beyond those simple team management tools, we do also offer full service HR from certified HR professionals. This is where Gusto can really help take a business to the next level, ensure folks are staying compliant, and provide an incredible experience for the employer as well as the employees. We do offer full service HR. What this means, HR can mean a lot of things to a lot of different folks. So we'll click through to some of the different hot topics that come up. But I'm a small business owner. Should we ban romantic relationships? A lot of HR, when we've talked to folks, is done by Googling, is done by asking a friend. Gusto said, hey, let's make this official. And so we offer these full service HR resources, unlimited resources to folks who can really help you with anything from how do I handle an unemployment claim to I've never written an employee handbook and I would love to do that for the very first time so that when I onboard employees, I'm setting expectations straight and everything is documented. So like I said, doesn't stop with payroll. We've got the payroll, we have the benefits, we have team management. Beyond that, these HR tools are going to help us franchise a small business, ensure they're staying compliant, up to date with different labor laws, and running their business properly. This is a quick look at the HR Resource Center, which is part of that concierge plan. We can click into this, but as you can see, front and center, some of the hot topics. I want to write a handbook. I am in California and I want to set up a sexual harassment training, but I've never done that. These are the things that oftentimes small businesses get tripped up on. And we just want to make sure that they have the resources to get ahead of anything that might come back to bite them. If they want to really make sure they're running a tight ship, this is where we can help out. Accounting integrations. This hopefully will make some of your lives easier, but in order to obviously get payroll information into the accounting software, there has to be a process there, whether that's manual or with an integration. With Gusto, we do have automatic integrations with the most common and widely used accounting softwares here in the US. That includes QuickBooks, Xero, FreshBooks, Aplos for nonprofits, and just launched another with a company called ZipBooks. But these accounting integrations are incredibly simple to set up. They are all automated. So once you do set them up, to get the information from Gusto into the general ledger is automatic sync, comes through, really reduces the amount of manual work and data entry that anybody does have to do to ensure the books are clean. Additional integrations, obviously, some folks might have very different needs than what Gusto can offer from a time tracking standpoint. So to that end, we do integrate with 7 of the most common time tracking softwares that are out there. T-Sheets, obviously an Intuit company, have an incredible integration and relationship with that company. But if someone does use someone else, obviously we can support 7 different time tracking softwares, expense management, point of sale, really trying to make sure that our platform can work with all the technologies that small businesses are already working with. We do have 3 different plans here at Gusto, and we'll spend a little bit of time here in how Gusto really is different from a billing standpoint and a pricing perspective. Core, Complete, Concierge, these are the names of our 3 plans. All of these plans have the same payroll function. So full service payroll will be the same across all plans. The biggest difference between the plans is the amount of team management and HR tools that you get. That is to say that we have a plan for every client. Your core plan on the very far left, this is ideal for businesses that maybe are brand new to payroll, have a single employee, maybe it's an S Corp that's paying themselves. Really basic payroll needs. This will be the perfect plan for that business. There's even a really neat feature called Autopilot where you can turn payroll on. Gusto will run it automatically for you. You could theoretically turn it on now, come back in January. We would have all your forms done, your W-2s, very easy. The complete plan, this is the ideal plan for any business that is scaling or really just wants to offer a service to its employees that's going to help them streamline processes, feel better about their day-to-day, and really wants to have a modern offering. What that means is you can include offer letters, handbooks, streamline the onboarding process. We talked about time tracking and paid time off. All of that can be tracked through Gusto. Roles and permissions, the ability to say, hey, I only want these administrators to see this part of Gusto. This is going to be that business that's growing and has more complex needs. And then on the far right, the concierge plan. This is going to be for anybody, simple or complex, that really just wants to stay compliant. So this will get you the full service HR tools that we talked about, including HR Resource Center, HR professionals, as well as a dedicated support team here at Gusto. So if you have folks in different states, keeping up with labor laws in different states can be a daunting task. This plan will ensure you stay compliant. If you are going through a hiring spree, want to make sure that you have your documents and your ducks in a row, this will be your plan. So really, truly is a plan for every business out there. The really nice thing about Gusto billing, it is a flat monthly bill based off of the base price and the per employee cost that you see here. That is to say, there are unlimited payrolls, filings are included, including W-2s. So very easy and predictable pricing, great for budgeting purposes, and typically very competitive with the other solutions that are out there. So that's a little bit about Gusto, the company, as well as our product. What I'm going to do now is hop into a quick demo and show you some of the pieces that I find and that folks that I work with find are very powerful and useful in helping small businesses, franchises, and accounting firms manage their employees and their payroll. So what we're going to do here, like I said, is run through a quick demo. If you've never seen it before, welcome to the Gusto platform. This is going to be your dashboard, so your home base. Every time you log into Gusto, what's top of mind? What's upcoming? Payroll, we've released a new feature. Someone has a time off request that you need to approve, whatever that is, always being proactive. Down here at the bottom, celebrations. And so going back to the very beginning when I said that Gusto is trying to change the narrative around payroll, we do think that getting paid is a celebration. So every time you get paid by Gusto, an employee gets paid, you get a celebratory email. We're also going to remind you, hey, it's Arthur's birthday on October 1st. Make sure you put that on your calendar. You can even send a birthday card through Gusto. This will also include work anniversaries. So really keeping the things top of mind to make sure that your employees feel like they are valued at the company. People tab, this is where you manage employees and contractors. One of the neatest features and most unique and highly used features that we have is called employee self-onboarding. So traditionally, I'm hired to a company, I show up day one, and I've got an hour of admin work that includes filling out my W-4, my I-9, and my direct deposit form. With Gusto, rather than having that employee come in, fill that information out manually, you can come in, I'll hire myself, and you can say this employee is starting next Monday, they're working in San Francisco, and this is their email address. All you have to do is type in these very basic details, making a hefty hourly wage. As a dog walker, I'm full-time, not enrolled in any PTO policies. All you have to do, like I said, enter these very basic details in, hit save and continue. It's going to say, hey, what documents do you want to be included in this onboarding process? We're going to always include that W-4 and direct deposit form. Beyond that, you're able to include custom forms, so an employee handbook or the I-9, an offer letter, save and continue, and that's it. Your job is done from an onboarding perspective. You can include a welcome card so that current employees can sign a card and say, hey, welcome to the team. But at that point, your job is done. I have an email in my inbox now that says, hey, Pat, you've been invited to get paid by Gusto. Let's go ahead and get you set up. I can log in. I can fill out my personal information, my tax withholding information, I can e-sign those documents. I show up day one. I had a great experience. I already see that my fellow colleagues are excited to see me through the welcome card, and I don't have to do any of that onboarding when I get to the office. So really great. You can show up and hit the ground running rather than spending an hour or so of your first day just doing administrative tasks. At that point, your employee is also going to have their own employee profile. Some of the benefits of an employee profile in Gusto, they have lifetime access to this. This is where their documents are going to live, as well as their pay stubs. Come January, if employees have left the company, if they can't find their W-2s, not to sweat, they won't bug you. They can come right to us. We'll make sure we get them their W-2. Lifetime access, like I said, so if somebody leaves the company, they can still come to Gusto to get their information. So I can always come in here and pull a pay stub. I can say, hey, how much PTO do I have? Let's make sure I'm requesting time off for that upcoming wedding. I will say it's at the end of October, and it's for my friend's wedding. This will then be submitted as a request to my manager. The manager will get this request, approve it, will automatically deduct those hours during that period that I took that time off, and that'll be reflected in my balance at that point. It's a really easy way to manage different processes like time off for your employees. Benefits, as soon as you are offering benefits through Gusto, Gusto will become the broker and your employees will have complete visibility into their plans. That is to say they can come into Gusto as soon as the enrollment is complete. They can use their account as a mobile health insurance card. We will also take their plans and say, hey, this is your Kaiser Silver 70 plan. That's a very confusing plan, but here's those high level details you need to know about. This is what a copay costs. This is what a prescription is going to cost you. You have to get an x-ray, it will cost you this much out of pocket. Really distilling and bubbling up the pertinent details about a health insurance plan so that employees don't have to call the broker. They don't have to dig through a very dense document to see what their benefits are going to cost them. Really incredible visibility for the employees into their health insurance offering. If they need to make a qualified life event change, they had a baby, they got married, they can once again do this all electronically right through their Gusto account. Some of the other kind of more standard but really useful pieces that just really give the business owner and maybe an accountant time back in their day is this self-serve portion. I'm paid by Gusto. I want to change my direct deposit account, or I want to add 2 more bank accounts so that I'm setting savings aside in a particular bank account. I can do all that myself. I got married. I'm able to come into Gusto, change my withholding, re-sign that document. Very easy. Don't have to bug the business owner. Don't have to bug the accountant when these changes are made. I can just log in and make them myself. Gives employees freedom. It's very empowering to be able to change these pieces on your own without going to your boss. We'll hop back into the administrator profile. As you can see, time off requests went from 3 to 4, so I just requested time off. This is where, as a manager, I will come in here and say, all right, Hannah, have a great trip. And that PTO is accepted. Like I said, it will come off during that pay period that the employee takes that time off. We'll run a quick payroll here. Obviously, this is the nuts and bolts of any payroll system, so we'll spend a little bit of time showing how this works. The first screen is going to be for hours and earnings. There's a mix of salaried and hourly employees on this account. Your salaried folks, very easy. They're just taking their total salary divided by pay period, gets you their gross pay. Let's say you have to add something like a reimbursement because Hannah bought the office coffee and she also crushed it on her sales numbers this quarter. So we're giving her a commission payment. Very simple. Add that with just the click of a button. Your hourly employees obviously might have a little bit more going on. The good news is Gusto is designed to accommodate really all different complexities and scenarios in which folks are recording their time worked. So the easiest or the most simple way, I guess, you can just log in and say work 35 hours. Alternatively, we do offer time tracking within Gusto, where employees can clock in and clock out in their employee profile, makes that entire process very streamlined through a single platform. As mentioned in the slide deck, we do also integrate with 7 different time tracking softwares. Some of the most popular ones, really easy to set those up. Folks clock in and clock out in their other platform, automatically pushed into Gusto for approval. And then one last piece, if you've got a client that is just married to using an Excel spreadsheet or uses a system that Gusto does not integrate with, you can upload a CSV. Very easy. We will dynamically update the template based off of whatever is current for that payroll run. So if somebody gets hired, gets fired, there's a pay rate that's added. We're always updating this template so that you don't have to do that on your end. You just download it, drop your hours in, save it, put the file right here, and we will automatically populate all the hours for the employees here on the screen. Direct deposit is default selected for all these folks. Direct deposit with Gusto takes 2 days. So you want folks to get paid on Friday. You're going to run that payroll on Wednesday. That being said, obviously some folks today still like paper checks. So if somebody is paid by a check, Gusto does not print and deliver checks. We are a paperless company, which is great. But that, like I said, that doesn't mean we don't print and deliver checks. You have plenty of options. You can print checks directly from Gusto, handwrite checks, print checks on your favorite accounting software, and we will just debit for those employees' taxes. As soon as you do have all the hours and earnings in, you'll hit save and continue. Real quickly, you can add a personal note. Ludwig had a great week. You want to make sure he knows, hey, we recognize that. We didn't overlook that he went above and beyond. That will show up on their pay stub. This next screen, paid time off, sick time, and holiday pay. So really easy to set up PTO policies, sick hour policies, paid time off, very nice. You can set up multiple policies if you have employees that do different jobs. Maybe your managers hire one policy and the hourly staff are a different policy. You can set up those 2 policies that have different accrual methods, enroll the folks in the proper policy, set it and leave it. You don't have to come back and fiddle with it. And then last, a quick payroll preview. So before you hit submit and set Gusto in motion to do our things, it's your last chance to say, hey, did I miss anything? Is everything in here that we need in here? You can get very granular by downloading a preview that will show you exactly line item by line item, taxes coming out, deductions coming out for every single employee. Total cost of payroll. As long as everything looks good, you come down, hit submit, and your job is done. Gusto will then debit for taxes, for total net wages. We'll direct deposit the wages in the employee bank accounts, and we will file and pay the taxes. Since we did switch this one employee to a check payment, we'll say, hey, don't forget Isaiah still needs to get paid. You can print a check, like I said, directly from Gusto. You can write him a check for that amount, or you can print on your own time. So really simple to get employees paid and to run that payroll through Gusto. At this point, if you are using an accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero, you can have that integration set up so that we're automatically pushing all those journal entries into those softwares. This is, like I said, an automatic process. At this point, you would see an icon that says you synced with QuickBooks Online at 12:34 and 22 seconds. Very easy. You go into QuickBooks. Everything is there as you mapped it. No data entry, no manual entry that you need to do from your end. Benefits from the admin side. You'll see exactly what you're offering. Your employees' medical, dental, vision, 401k. One of the neatest pieces about managing your benefits through Gusto is you can actually estimate the cost of a new hire right here within the plan or within the account. So you're able to say, hey, I've got an employee that would be starting on this date. They are this old, they were born on January 14th, 1975. What would it cost for me to hire them from a benefit standpoint? We'll say exactly how much that would cost. Really nice. You don't have to go back and forth with the broker. You can just say, I'm thinking about hiring this person. Can I afford it? And we'll give you that information. Stay compliant. One piece I'll touch on very briefly here. Workers' compensation insurance is something else we offer. Offer pay-as-you-go plans. Really affordable, really easy way to offer workers' comp. Very nice for small businesses, $0 to activate a policy. The bigger picture, as I'm going through this, hopefully you're recognizing Gusto's not just payroll, it's quite a bit more. It's helping empower employees, it's giving them access to information, providing them benefits, also keeping the business compliant. Self-serve reports, pretty straightforward, but you as the small business owner need to run certain reports. You can give us a call and ask how to run certain reports, but you also have the ability to just hop into the reporting section and pull any reports that you may need. The last piece I'll hop into in the demo is just showing you where the accounting integrations are set up, and just briefly walk you through how that looks. Connect to QuickBooks. You're using QuickBooks Online. All you do to set up that integration is come into Gusto, Settings tab, use your login credentials for QuickBooks. We will pull over the entire chart of accounts. You then say, I want these payroll transactions and expenses to map to these accounts. You hit save. That's all you do. If you want to get granular for more complexity, we do offer class mapping as well as department mappings. So you can stay very high level. You can also get very granular with the mappings. But once it's set up, your job is done. You don't have to do anything else. Every time you run payroll, we'll automatically be pushing over all those journal entries. These are some of the other services we do integrate with: Expensify, Xero, like I said. QuickBooks, obviously the big one here. The nice thing about our integration, it is a two-way integration. The benefit for you with the two-way integration is that QuickBooks talks to Gusto, as does Gusto talk to QuickBooks. Say you went into your QuickBooks and you added 5 new accounts because you added a new department. We'll automatically pull those over in Gusto, so you never have to cancel the integration, reset it up. It's all real time back and forth. So that being said, that is the end of the demo. Want to make sure that I do get everyone's questions, concerns, thoughts answered. This is a really great time to be talking about payroll and processes. End of year is typically when these are most top of mind. Also, I'm not sure if folks have seen in the news, but there was a pretty big fiasco at the payroll company out on the East Coast called My Payroll HR that left 4,000 small businesses out of a solution. Really devastating for those clients and their employees. But Gusto really is trying to be that trusted solution where situations like that don't even cross folks' mind. So that being said, just want to open up the floor now to Jennifer, if questions have been coming through your way, so we can get those answered.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Pat. There was a couple of people who were interested in how this integrates with different versions of QuickBooks, but I think that you covered that very well, so thank you. But one question we have is, you touched on the reporting center where you can run different reports. If there's a report that doesn't exist, how can custom reports be written? Yeah,
great question. And I'll quickly just hop back to the integrations piece real quickly before getting to that, because there's one piece I think I kind of glazed over. QuickBooks Online is that automatic sync. QuickBooks Desktop, if you do use that, is slightly different just by virtue of being a desktop software versus a cloud-based software. And so with desktop, rather than having the accounts pulled over automatically, you just upload your chart of accounts to Gusto. And then every time you run payroll, we'll generate an IEF file that you just move back and forth. So those QuickBooks specific files. So that one does have like 1 or 2 more steps, but it's equally as easy for you. So just wanted to make sure I didn't glaze over that. And yeah, this reporting section is not going to have every single report. It's a great call out. If you do have specific reports you need, you can always ask our customer service team, hey, is it possible to get this report? Our customer service team works very closely with our data analytics team, who would typically be the folks pulling those reports. Oftentimes, we might have a record of, hey, this report's been asked for in the past, so we can quickly run it. If it's something that we've never run before, it might take a little longer, but typically, if you cannot find the report in the reporting section, our customer service team is happy to help work with you to get that report drafted.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you too for just touching a little bit more on the QuickBooks desktop integration as well. The next question
Absolutely.
is, how can you handle bonuses for employees?
Bonuses for employees? Really simple to run bonuses for employees. You have a couple options. You can run a strict bonus payroll by just hitting bonus payroll. The alternative, and that would be, hey, it's end of year, we want to give our employees a bonus. The alternative would be you can include a bonus on a standard payroll. So we're running a regular payroll. You can just add a bonus right here. So you do have several options for bonuses. Same goes for commissions. Those off-cycle payrolls that I'll show you here can also be used to run a bonus. The nice thing about Gusto, like I said, there's no limit on the payrolls that you run. So you can run unlimited payrolls. It's no additional cost.
Excellent. Our next question is, do you have the ability to manually adjust the federal or state withholdings?
Yes, great question. You do. You are able to go to an employee's profile. I'll show you what this looks like functionally. And say Hannah wants specifically $212 withheld. This is an override code 9999. We'll just override any standard withholding with that amount. That being said, there are a few states that don't allow that for whatever reason. And so we do have workarounds that we'll show you how to do. It's only, I think, 4 of the 50 states where that doesn't work. But in most states, that's all you do. Add the override code, put that additional amount as the exact amount, and we'll withhold just that amount.
Excellent. And then can you edit an individual paycheck, but not the main settings?
So tell me a little bit more there. So by editing a paycheck, meaning just running a very specific amount?
Yeah, like the way that you just showed it, maybe I'm misunderstanding. Will that be for all of her paychecks, like going forward? Can you just one paycheck?
Got it. So this would be for all paychecks moving forward. So if you wanted to do a specific amount for just one payroll, you would add this override code, include the amount you want to withhold, and then if it's just for one payroll, you would come back here and just move it back to what it was. So it is going to be moving forward. You'll have to move it back if you want to change it.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. Perfect.
Yep.
All right, and let's see, one more question. How do you handle tipped employee payroll where the net pay may be negative even if federal and state withholding is 0?
If the net pay is negative, that's a fantastic question. And to be perfectly honest, don't want to feed information that I'm not entirely sure on. I've not come across a situation where there's negative payroll. Typically, and really what I do is more on the upfront side. So I help make sure folks get onboarded to Gusto, are utilizing everything we have to offer, benefits. Typically, those more complex questions come when you have a client that is actively running payroll through Gusto. At that point, you would actually be, or whoever is running payroll through Gusto will be working with our customer service team. They are much more well-versed in those scenarios than myself. So I don't want to give an answer I don't have full confidence on, but I am confident that our customer service team would have an answer and that there's a way to manage that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right. I don't see any other questions coming in at this moment. So Pat, did you have any other kind of closing things that you wanted to show us or talk about or just touch on before we do a couple polls and then wrap up the presentation?
No, I'm feeling good. All good on my end.
Okay, great. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a couple polls here for the audience. So the first one here is, do you have a preferred vendor for payroll, benefits, and HR already? Just go ahead and answer that, yes, no, or you're just not sure. Maybe you're brand new and you're just kind of getting started. So we appreciate you answering that for us. We'll give it just a couple more seconds. And then the next one I'm gonna run here is just if you do want to learn a little bit more about Gusto. If you like what you've heard today, Pat's really intrigued your or piqued your interest in this, and you're interested in learning a little bit more, let us know, and we'll be sure to put you in touch. Or if you have a couple more specific questions, just like that one that just came in about tipped employees and just kind of diving really deep into that, let us know if you are interested in learning more about Gusto. So, Pat, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you going through this. There's a lot of really great functionality across things beyond just payroll. So we appreciate you talking to us today.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. And I hope to connect a bit further with anybody that's interested. So Jennifer, thanks for everything.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'm just going to take it back here for a couple more minutes, or probably not even that long, just to talk to everybody about what's coming up here with Technology Tuesdays. I can't believe next week is already October, but next Tuesday, October 1st, I'm so excited to have a presentation with Dawn Brolin. She is the owner, founder of Powerful Accounting, which Out of the Box Technology recently acquired. So we have her on our team, which has just been fantastic. I've had the opportunity to interview her a couple times, and her wealth of knowledge is just phenomenal. So she will be talking to us next week on the fight against fraud, and just such a huge topic. No matter really what industry or what small business you have, fraud is such a huge issue, and just some of the solutions that she can talk about when it comes to fraud. So definitely don't miss that one. And then on October 8th, we have What's New in QuickBooks 2020, as I mentioned earlier in this presentation. 2020 just came out, so we've got all the new features, enhancements, what's missing, all of that. So be sure to join us on October 8th. It should be a great presentation. We'll have our CEO, Denise Litter-Cook, on, as well as Jonathan Harvey, who is one of our managers of data services. So check those out. Again, they're all free, and most are available for CPE credits, which is a really exciting offering for us here at Technology Tuesdays. And if you have any questions, again, if you wanted to get in touch with us about this presentation or any others, there's my contact information there. We hope to see you again soon. Again, this is recorded, so you'll get a link in about an hour or so to view that recording on demand. You'll also get a short survey following this presentation. So thank you everyone who joined us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon.